Hey, what's going on to all my Marvel MCU Doctor Strange fans out there, and welcome back to my channel Movie Files. Elliot back again with my weekly recap, breakdown, and review of the latest episode of Disney Plus What If, and today we are breaking down episode 4, which was titled What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart Instead of His Hands. And listen, I want to see this be told in a live action. This was a fantastic episode, and don't be surprised if some of these elements makes its way into the live action in the MCU. We're going to break it all down here in this spoiler review, but before we do so, make sure you all are checking me out on all my other social media accounts. If you're new to the channel, well, welcome to the community. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. That way you all can get the alert for when I drop new content. If you all enjoyed this spoiler review of episode 4 of What If, well, make sure to like the video, share the video. It helps out the channel a lot, but also appreciate the support. And in those comments, once you've seen this 4th episode, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta talk about it. Let me know your thoughts on the story, the dark, evil version Doctor Strange, the good version Doctor Strange. Let's talk about the plot, and let's talk about how important this episode is, not only to this What If series, because we will be seeing Doctor Strange again. I assume we will see him again, but let's talk about how this impacts and lays the foundation for the live-action MCU. I'm talking about Spider-Man No Way Home and, of course, Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse. Let me know your thoughts, your theories, your predictions of how this episode can play into those films. Let's talk about it in the comment section. So just a quick little plug if you all do not know, but every single Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time, myself, Amanda, and Chris, we break down these latest episodes of What If, but we also talk about some of the latest Marvel news, and you're going to want to tune in tonight because we're talking Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, all those rumors that have come out in the last few weeks. We're going to break it all down. I hope you all can join us again. That's tonight live on this channel. Hope to see you there. So let's get into this recap and review and breakdown of episode 4. I truly mean this, that I think each episode has just gotten better and better. It's not, and that's not saying the last episodes were bad. It's just saying that these stories have gotten more depth, more development, more intrigue. I mean, this was dark. I mean, last episode was dark. You see our Avengers being killed off, but I mean, seeing Christine die over and over and seeing Doctor Strange be consumed by the dark entities out there and in the dark dimensions, and his ego overtaking his good side was just such an epic story. Seeing the Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange, the Ancient One, Wong, and all the different creatures and elements that we got in this episode, this was fantastic. I plan on rewatching this episode quite a few times before the day ends, and I just thought this was just fantastic. I really don't have any criticisms with this episode. And this is this is so funny I said this because I actually watched Doctor Strange last night, and I say that because I'm not a big Doctor Strange fan in regards to the film. His film kind of lays like 16, 17 on my personal MCU rankings. I enjoy Scott Derrickson's direction. The visuals are incredible and all that stuff, but there's a pacing issue. Nonetheless, this isn't a review for the film, but let's just say I'm not the biggest fan of Doctor Strange. But after seeing him in Infinity War, Endgame, and now this individual What If story, and gets me excited for his actual sequel, this is exciting, man. I am so excited to break this down, and I want to know what you all thought of the episode, but I thought this was the best episode of What If so far, and I think that that's a big thing to say because I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes. But let's break it all down, starting off with the recap, and essentially, literally within the 5 minutes, they give you the breakdown of the first Doctor Strange film, which, again, I'm not the biggest fan of that movie, but nonetheless, we see the events play out where Doctor Strange and Christine go on this speaking engagement, which I think, again, watching the film last night, I think this is like, if you guys remember the film, Doctor Strange invites Christine to this engagement on the night that he saved that person from the bullet in their head, and she says no, but I think this is her saying yes in this universe, and we see the events play out. She, unfortunately, which, by the way, was it me, or when that car hit Doctor Strange, it seemed like that was, like, purposeful. Like, I was thinking this whole time that it was going to be revealed that someone was, like, killing her in order to make him become the evil version of Doctor Strange, which, hey, we will be seeing this character again. It might be revealed that someone was actually the one that kind of planted the seeds for him to become this evil version. But neither here nor there. We don't get that reveal, but we see this dark version of Groundhog's Day where she just continues to die over and over and over again. And we see kind of the even before we get that, you know, she dies, she has the funeral, and we see the events of the film play out where he, you know, wants to search for answers in the mystic arts. He meets the Ancient One and Wong, and they warn him, do not meddle with time, and we see him obviously beat Dormammu and all that stuff, but then we get this 2-year time gap in between that individual Doctor Strange film, and then we see Doctor Strange on the night of Christine's anniversary of her death. He's holding a time stone and just contemplating, what if I can go back and change the time, right? And that's where Doctor Strange Strange's ego steps in, which goes into the big thing about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Is that Doctor Strange? Is it Mephisto? I think this episode really shows you the ego that this man has on him. We talked about it last week on Live Weeks, the stream we had. Doctor Strange makes some pretty, questionable decisions. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility of doing what he does and what we assume he's doing in Spider-Man No Way Home. But neither here nor there. We see this version, Doctor Strange takes that time stone and goes back to the night that she died. And this is where we get that dark kind of Groundhog's Day situation where they go to the dinner. She dies on the way there. Again, she dies in a car accident. They don't go to the dinner. They go, to a diner. She gets shot. They go to the dinner in a different route, and she has a heart attack on the dance floor. He doesn't go to pick her up. Her apartment explodes, which again makes me think, like, is someone doing this? Is someone literally going into his timeline and killing her intentionally for him to get on that dark path? Again, that might be the ultimate reveal. When we see him again, that might be like the ultimate villain that they have to face, where we see Captain Carter, Killmonger, Star-Lord, and now this version of Doctor Strange. They have to team up to face whatever this dark entity or this villain may be for future episodes. But nonetheless, just seeing all those deaths take place over and over again, I'm just like, Disney animation, I thought this was going to be more kid-friendly, but they're killing people left and right, and I love it because I love me some dark, evil stuff and seeing characters kind of face these decisions and what their path leads them on. But nonetheless, moving forward, we see that he comes into contact with the Ancient One who's coming back to talk to him, and this is where they're having a debate that no, Doctor Strange, no, Stephen, you can't erase death, and if you do so, you will distract and you will deviate from the path that you've been set on to defeat Dormammu, to become the Sorcerer Supreme. And this is where she says her death is an absolute point and you can't erase that. But Doctor Strange, in his ego, he doesn't take the advice. He takes the time stone, goes back. We see that the Ancient One kind of casts a spell on him, but he's able to escape. At least we thought that he escaped, but we find out that she had plans set out for Doctor Strange. But we go to this sequence where he makes his way to Lost Library of Cagliostro, and this is where he introduces himself to the librarian, O'Bane, and just seeing the visuals and the look and the design of the library was absolutely fantastic. But we go into this situation where Doctor Strange goes to the library with the guidance of O'Bane, and he comes across a book of time manipulation, and in this book, it tells him that he has, in order to get the power that he's searching for, he has to absorb powers from other beings. And this is where we see him summon Gorith, who this is the same creature that we saw in episode 1 with Captain Carter. Now, this isn't the same creature. That's obviously a different universe, different timeline. But rumor has it that this creature may or may not be in a Doctor Strange 2 film. That's the rumor out there. We'll see what comes of that. But nonetheless, he tries to bargain with the creature and it doesn't work out for him. And we see that he's defeated by this creature. But this is where, again, I mentioned the dialogue in this episode. This dialogue here, in the exchange between O'Bane and Doctor Strange, when he mentions if she's worth all this pain, he says that love can break more than your heart. It can shatter your mind. That line to me was just like, first off, I want to see O'Bane in a live action, but also it's just the writing, the development, the depth in the conversations, which was just so fascinating to me and just really well done. But now in comes the seeds being planted for the evil Doctor Strange, as he starts small by taking his beam. He summons a small little gnome and sucks the soul and the power from the gnome, and we see he takes a cape from a bug, and from there the creatures get bigger, more bigger in scale, and he takes more of their power, and ultimately he gets the power that he needs. But we find out he's locked himself in a century of time to gather all the power. So we go back to this time where we see that O'Bane is on his deathbed, and this is where we kind of see that the Watcher was thinking about stepping in and changing things, but he obviously didn't want to intervene. But this is where we see, again, that there is another Doctor Strange in this exact same timeline and universe. This is where we go back to that moment where Doctor Strange had the conversation with Wong about manipulating time, and we see that he didn't manipulate time. And this is where we get our other version of the good Doctor Strange having a conversation with the Ancient One, and she tells him what she did. So on the night that they got into the fight, she was able to split Doctor Strange into two different Doctor Strange and two different paths, and I just thought that was so fantastic. I think that this actually maybe shows us we're going to see the Ancient One make her live action return some way and somehow. Don't be surprised if you see her in Doctor Strange 2, but nonetheless, we get into this whole situation where we get evil Doctor Strange versus good Doctor Strange, and these Sorcerer Supremes go at it, ladies and gentlemen, and just seeing the conversation of, again, the ego of Doctor Strange and a good version of him telling himself, we can't let our ego get the best of us. Christine is dead, but obviously evil Sorcerer Supreme Strange does not want to hear that, and we see this really amazing, epic action set piece and the sequences of fights, which is just the best of the series so far. It reminded me so much of Thanos fighting Doctor Strange in Infinity War. It was like top-notch action. I was like on the edge of my seat. But nonetheless, we see good Doctor Strange gets manipulated by the evil version, who takes him to this kind of fake situation where he sees Christine, but he knows it's not really Christine. It's all a trick. But ultimately, we see evil Doctor Strange get the best of good Doctor Strange, and he absorbs his power, which leads to him becoming like this ultimate evil looking monster, kind of like a Frankenstein monster, but he's able to bring back Christine. And this is where, again, the visuals of her coming back to life. She sees him, obviously she's terrified, because she's like, you're not the doctor, you're not the Stephen Strange I know. He's this monster form. And this is where we see the reality and everything, because again, you can't manipulate time. This was an absolute point, and he's disrupting that absolute point. So we see the reality in that universe completely destroy, and we see ultimately the whole world destroys, and it leaves him in this bubble, this kind of void, which again, it ends the episode. But listen, that Doctor Strange will be making his way out of that void, and I hope to see that version of Doctor Strange maybe make its way into the live action of the MCU, because I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I thought that the depth, the emotion, the other version of Doctor Strange just kind of, ego-driven, doesn't care what he has to do to get things done, which again speaks to Doctor Strange as a character. And this is why, going to that whole, is it Mephisto and Spider-Man? I don't think so. I think we just see that Doctor Strange sometimes makes bad decisions. Yes, he is a Sorcerer Supreme. He is, has all those abilities, but he is still human at the end of the day, and we make mistakes as humans, and that's really the thing that makes Doctor Strange so, unique and so fascinating in the comics. Is yes, he has all these powers, all these abilities, all this knowledge, but at the end of the day, he's still a human being at heart. And we, like I said, no one's perfect. Not to get into this rant, but Star-Lord, he's half human, he's half celestial, and we saw what he did in Infinity War. And there's so many different examples of our superheroes, our heroes in MCU, making decisions, rational decisions, not rational, but irrational decisions because of emotion. So again, this episode was fantastic. Again, this is coming from someone that's not even the biggest Doctor Strange fan, but I thought this was great. I think this sets the foundation for what we can expect to see in the rest of the series, but also Spider-Man No Way Home. I think Doctor Strange will play a big part into, I don't know if this version of Doctor Strange will make its way into this film, but I think just the idea of Peter Parker having to face with the idea of his identity and who he is and what he wants to be revealed and what he doesn't want revealed, and he has to ultimately make the decision who he wants to be as a person, which was echoed in this episode. But then Doctor Strange 2, we're going to see that creature again, I think. There's rumors that Captain Carter will make her way into that, and then don't be surprised that seeing all this stuff that Doctor Strange did in regards to taking the absorbing the power, I think this is exactly what Mordor, Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, is doing right now in the live-action MCU. Right now, he's finding sorcerers, and he's taking their powers, which may lead into Wanda. He might step his way into Wanda, might be able to manipulate her. But listen, I can go on and on and on again, and we will tonight, 6 p.m. Central Time, talk more about the possibilities, the theories, and predictions on the live stream and talking about Doctor Strange 2. So hope you all can tune in. Thank you all for watching this review again. This episode was fantastic, and I can't wait to see what they have for episode 5 and beyond, because I'm really enjoying this series, and I hope you all are enjoying it as well. But I want to thank you all for sticking around to this point in the video. If you haven't already, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss any more other content. Again, I'll see you all tonight. Hope you're staying safe, and we'll see you on the next video.